Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Tech That Doesn't Byte Cast. I am Simon, and joining me, of course, is my good friend Jeff Worden.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Don't know because we don't hear.
Yeah, obviously we don't. Yeah, that. Well, there's that. Right, it's a one-sided conversation. I can talk at you all day long, and you'd never say a word.
Exactly.
That's sometimes not so bad.
yeah, I agree.
Maybe. How you doing, Simon? All's good with you? Good with you, I hope.
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Rock on, brother. Rock on.
Rocking on. Yeah. It's another week going by pretty quickly.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Can't believe it's already June.
It's starting to feel like it, but yeah, it's kind of hard to believe that it's actually June now, which means like, God, wait, next week, actually, the mask mandate is done. June 15th, man.
Yeah, but it's just,
Well, it's not to say you can't keep them on. I mean, if you really would feel the need to keep it on, and no, I'm much better looking with it on. Hey, don't let me stop you. But yeah, but hey, the mask mandate will be done. Things getting back to normal. The traffic has started sucking really bad again, right?
Yeah, that's the downside of.
Oh my God!
Everything kind of restoring back to normal.
It's coming back to normal, which is really good.
For us in SoCal. Crappy traffic is normal.
Yeah.
That's the one normal I don't want.
I'll get there in 20 minutes. Yeah, but you're across town with traffic. Oh, okay. That'll be another 2 hours. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
No, that's why ladies and gentlemen, whenever we say that somewhere is only 10 miles, might be doable for other places in other states, but here in California, it's a pain in the ass, dude.
That's at least 30 minutes. Don't even kid yourself. 10 miles is about 30 minutes. It's ridiculous.
Depends where.
Depends where. That is true. It does depend on where.
But anyways, other than that, it's June, where it means we're halfway through the year.
Yay! I guess. Yay!
Yeah, I guess, yeah. So we'll see what else is going on.
We will see. We will see. All right. Well, Simon, what are we starting off with today? What have we got here?
Well, yesterday, speaking of a year, June is always the annual WWDC Worldwide Developer Conference from Apple.
All right.
And like I said, the year go by very fast because I felt like we only did the 2020 version not too long ago. So,
right on.
We're already in the 2021 version. So yesterday they did the keynote event at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
All right.
And it lasted about close to 2 hours.
Okay. Wow.
And I had a chance to check out the video. And for the most part, it's as what it seems, mostly software focused,
right?
No hardware. And it's rarely that they announce any hardware stuff at WWDC. It's rarely. I mean, they haven't quite a while.
Software is always getting updated, on a basically near constant basis. Hardware, it needs to just work, and if it works, then you don't really need to improve it per se, unless you're making a major leap of some kind. I suppose, unless there's a
I think
problem.
They're just keeping those hardware secret right now.
Let's go with that too. Yeah. Sure, let's go with that.
For most of their hardware event, it's always a separate event, anyways.
Okay, all right.
It's always some random event in April or some random event in November. No, not November. It's usually in April.
Okay. All right.
Some weird date that it's only 2 weeks of notice. Hey, we're announcing something in 2 weeks. Okay. So
if it's in April, is it in 420? Never mind. Go on. So tell us more about the WWDC.
Probably. Yeah. They are based in Cupertino, California. So
that is true.
So-
that is true. Not exactly the weed capital of the world, but probably one of or top 10. Who knows?
So everything announced at WWDC. There's a 9-minute video if you guys don't want to watch the 1 hour and 50 somewhat minute video. And I'm gonna admit to you, there are some parts I skipped because I didn't find it interesting.
No.
But just to recap some of the things that they announced that I thought that was kind of interesting to me, it was FaceTime and iOS 15. They're also basically allows you to invite your friends that are on either Android or on a Windows PC.
Okay. All right.
So that's a pretty, I'll say pretty interesting thing that they're doing in terms of bringing FaceTime to Android users and people to join on the web. So basically what I do is I will create an invite on my iPhone, send it to you via email, text, whatever. And all you do from a browser, an Android browser, which is probably going to be Google Chrome most likely, or on a PC, you just use that link, kind of like Zoom, but it's more on FaceTime. So it looks something. It's not going to look like Zoom. It's still going to look like that FaceTime weird look. It's like everyone's floating for some reason. But they do have a grid view, but I don't know. But you need a lot of friends to have that grid view. I don't know. The way they demonstrate it shows like there's like a bunch of people.
They're all paid actors. We know that. Yeah. There's no way that your average nerd like you and I are gonna have like a lot of friends. I mean, that's just ridiculous. To go over 3 is just excessive for us. That's like a gold mine for us. No way.
Yeah, but to be able to finally use FaceTime with non-iPhone users, I think that's a win.
It sounds like it might be a win. I may have to actually try that out then if that's good. I think I saw a blurb about that. I was kind of intrigued by it. So
I think it's a win because if it's successful, iMessage on the web.
I don't know. So, it'll be interesting.
I feel like it's them like, kind of, getting their foot wet with this, try it out on the non-Apple platform. So like, let's give this a try. Let's see how well it does first before, jumping all in.
Okay, well, it's really going to suck if it actually picks up a little bit and they say, yeah, we're not getting enough people on there. And they actually pull it. So that would really blow. So I don't know. It sounds like if they're going to commit to it, they're going to have to really like commit like 110% to actually get it to work. I mean, unless it's just somehow just so incompatible or so bug ridden that, be it, hardware incompatibilities or, just software just, can't handle it or whatever it is, but I don't know. I'm intrigued by it. I'm intrigued by it.
So they also, released some new stuff, other stuff in iOS 15, like spatial audio.
Right.
And basically when you're doing FaceTime, there's a way you can just pick your mic and it uses AI to minimize the background noises and they demonstrate it. So it just focuses on your voice. So let's say someone blowing, what we did yesterday.
A tuba.
When yesterday we were trying to film something.
Right. You got the breeze blowing
the gardeners.
Right.
So
those guys.
So the video they demonstrate would kind of mimic that situation. And this person just, I guess, click on a microphone with, I don't know, some sort of functionality that will let you remove or minimize the background noise and just focus on your voice. So again, had to definitely test on that.
Yeah, no, that definitely would be something I'd want to look into, see how good that particular bit of tech is. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it's apparently it's called voice isolation.
Okay, I think I've heard something akin to that. Yeah, I think I mentioned that, or we had talked about it on a previous episode where that was the new technology that was coming out.
Yes,
and but it was only really good when it was used like in Zoom meeting or office type settings. It's supposed to like being outside and using it or something like that. It's been a while. I'd have to look up my notes on that kind of thing. But I remember actually reading about that and I was really intrigued by it. I'm like, oh yeah, it's got this, and this. It looked really good. So I was eager to see what was going to happen. So now it looks like it's come to fruition. I'm guessing like a year later at this point. I'm not even sure when I talked about that way back when, but
yeah, I remember talking not too long ago. And also
the pandemic has kind of erased time for me. I have no idea when anything has happened anymore.
And also, if you guys are looking for if you're exclusively on iOS, it's gonna have a built-in authenticator, 2FA authenticator. So basically, you don't have to use Google Authenticator or Authy anymore. Apple's gonna have their own.
Nice.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Now it's effectively not going to be helpful if you have different devices like Android and iPhone. So I don't think there's a way you could have them sync with each other like how Authy does.
Oh, they're just not trying hard enough.
Yeah. Well, I don't think why would they need to? You know?
No, I know. Why not keep it to themselves or however that's going to work? It's just a lot easier and it ropes you into the whole Apple fanboy realm and things, whatever.
So iOS 15 is going to be out in the fall, and the supported devices that they listed starts from the iPhone 6S. Now that phone came out in 2015, so it's a 5-year-old phone.
Dang.
And they're still getting the newest updates. Might not have all the cool features because the hardware is pretty limited.
Right,
but
right.
We're still getting a new update. So 5 years, man. 5 years for updates on a phone. It's rare.
For a phone, that's wild. Usually phones like update like every year, every other year, and in terms of the hardware and whatnot. It's like, oh, you need the latest and greatest, give up your old phone and we'll, whatever with it. And so if God forbid there are people out there with iPhone 6s and whatnot, they're still able to get software updates. That's impressive. That's really impressive.
It definitely is impressive. So iPhone 6s or above, you're still going to get iOS 15. So
right.
Again, that's always the one thing I always say. It's like the good thing about their software updates, they try to support as much devices, at least on the iPhones, dating back like 5 years or even more. So can't say that for Android. Android will be 2 years, you're already outdated, and like, well, I'll never get another update.
Yeah, it's probably 6 months out. You never know. Yeah, no, it's this darn 6-month-old technology, it's obsolete. Yeah, no, it's I mean, kudos that they actually try to be as backward compatible as possible. That's can be hard to do, but that could also just be a matter of planning how the hardware is going to update so that as the software updates and new ideas come into it, that the backwards compatibility is easier because the hardware is still similar enough that it can actually handle, whatever the new features might be. In some cases, like you mentioned, there are going to be hardware limitations. It's going to happen with the best of them. Yeah. Because, 5 years ago, they didn't think, oh, yeah, we need to have something that, can, cook rotisserie chicken or something like that. And obviously, you know what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying.
No, voice isolation. I don't think that was something in their minds 5 years
Yeah, okay,
ago.
let's go with that. Voice isolation. Something a little more relevant. So they might not have had that. Obviously, the hardware isn't there.
Also, they have something called if you have, a pay subscription to iCloud, then they have private relay. So that's like their own VPN.
I remember touching on that a bit too. Yeah. Like I said, it's been a while, but I remember you touching. I remember that as well.
So that's iOS 15. There's so much more to cover, but we just don't have the time.
Really, you didn't want to go on for a few hours about it? Because I know I would.
No, I don't. I mean, there's also iPad OS 15. Not too much stuff intrigued me about that, so I'm just gonna skip it. But you guys should read up on it.
Yep.
Mac OS Monterey, which is the next operating system for your Mac computers.
Right.
So Mac OS Monterey. So there's a lot of different features. So they updated Safari, different design this time. Completely I don't know. I mean, it looks good, but I know from my experience from using Safari, every time they say it looks good and I try it out, it just sucks. So that's been my experience. So
right on.
I've been a Mac user since 2006 and it's 2021. Safari has not changed my mind at all. So, I don't think it's going to do any wonders. So
there you go. But and obviously there are better browsers out there at this point.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just trying to play keep up, for just keep Apple stuff. But yeah, I mean, based on what you're saying, it sounds like it just isn't working for them, and maybe it'll go the way of Internet Explorer. Who knows? It seems unlikely to me, but
No,
anything is possible. Yeah,
they can't go away like Internet Explorer. I mean, to get rid of Safari, I mean, Safari on the iPhone, I think it's the number one web browser on mobile.
Huh?
So you can't get rid of Safari. You just
okay.
You just
all
can't.
right. All right.
There's no way, because everything is so tied in. Especially everyone using Apple Pay,
other Apple services, Apple services,
some of it just requires Safari. There's no way around it.
Right. Well, okay. Well, then I guess I need to work it better from the desktop laptop version of it and see if it'll improve some, as opposed to being like really great on the iPhone. So we'll have to see, or mobile device.
And also, they also announced, and I think this is actually the cool part of macOS Monterey. Let me search for that. It is called. What is that? Oh yeah, there we go. It's called Universal Control.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
When you showed me the clip about that was just wicked cool. I'll try not to fanboy too hard on that one, because I'm not giving a lie. That actually was really cool. I'm not the biggest Apple fan you'll find, but good God, that was actually kind of cool.
Yeah. So basically, what the feature is that if you have your Mac installed with macOS Monterey, and you have the latest iPads, a newer version of iPad,
right?
And let's say you want to basically be able to control them, from your computer, from your MacBook. You could do that. You could control your iPad using your MacBook Pro or MacBook Air, or even your iMac. And what it basically does, let's say think of it like a second monitor, kind of, not really a second monitor, but it's presented that way.
Right.
You can move your mouse cursor to your iPad screen and automatically detect it.
You could swap between machines. That was the part that just blew me away to watch that happen.
And you could drag and drop files. So from your iPad to your computer to your Mac Pro. So let's say that you have like a drawing on your iPad, and you want to throw that into a presentation or into Final Cut Pro or something. You just drag and drop that file from your iPad, and it goes directly into your MacBook Pro or your iMac.
It was so wicked cool. I mean, honestly, I was really impressed with that. It was super cool to watch.
Yeah, it was impressive. And I feel like in my mind, I was like, man, I need newer Macs. Like, man, I need newer Macs.
We need to get more Apple products. Yeah, no, I get it.
So obviously this feature requires, I read the requirements. So it really needs a Mac that's, I think 2016 or newer.
Okay.
And also, you basically have to have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and also enable handoff. That's what they use as this kind of technology to like really kind of connect stuff.
Well, it may make sense. You hand off whatever you're doing from one machine to another. I mean, it makes sense when you kind of linguistically think about that. All right.
Yeah. So the handoff capability has been around for quite a while. Basically, it's, for example, if you're on your iPhone and you're browsing on, a web page on Safari, and let's say you want to see on the computer, you just, your computer, you go to a computer, and then it sees like, hey, your iPhone had this browser open, and then you just click on it, and then the browser on the computer will open up and just kind of, go back to the same place where you were on your iPhone.
Right.
So it's building off from that.
Yeah, no, that was just really make it cool to watch. To actually watch that demo where he had like literally three machines, the big, Macintosh, along with the iPad and some other device that he had. He was just like going between all three of them, with a mouse and a keyboard. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And I mean, really, I was actually really impressed with that. That was actually really slick. I like.
Yeah, it was right. I mean, I watched. I was like, I think it's weird. I think that out of the whole keynote, that was the one that I found very impressive.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I'm with you on that one.
Which is kind of sad because everything else was just like, okay, I've seen it.
Well, no, I mean, you could argue, well, yeah, it's hard to come up with new innovations, when the founder has passed on and he doesn't have his creative mind working on, what the next thing can be to shape humanity, for lack of a better way of putting that. So they're trying to stay ahead of the curve, if you will, kind of really keep an edge out there. And frankly, this universal control thing arguably falls into that category. Just because if you have stuff on one machine, you want to put it on the other, or just transfer, just whatever you want to do, you just go bloop, 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 and you're bam, done. Yeah, you need newer machines to do it. Yeah, you got to update to Monterey and have all these protocols turned on. But yeah, you know what? If you could do it, holy God, how that's cool. I mean, just even at a basic level, you could have like your iPad like near somebody else's iPad, and then you just share it across. Literally, you just share it across.
I think that it only works if they're logged into your iCloud account. So that's how the technology works. So you have to have the same iCloud account,
right? Okay,
on your devices.
Okay.
Because it'd be kind of creepy if someone else's. You're able to do that on someone else's computer. It's like, wait a minute, you're not in my account. So
I could see that, but by the same token, it's not much different than like if you and I shared a Dropbox account or something like that, we would just share files that way. It's arguably the same concept. It's just,
maybe they'll add that feature later.
Right. But it conceptually, it's the same idea. Now you're saying that it's only got the same iCloud account would could go across machines. Okay, that's understandable. It's a privacy security thing. I could totally get that. But you know what? If you're in an office setting, if it's just like a small group, like it's you and I, or a couple of other people, we could all share one iCloud account and transfer files among ourselves.
Technically, that'll work.
Right. I'm just throw that out there. It's a lot of file sharing, but and you probably have to create folders or do whatever, or it just works that way. I'm not totally savvy with iCloud, but
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I have to be able to test this, but
yeah.
Well, I won't be able to test this because I don't have newer Macs. So,
if anybody wants to contribute money to Tech That Doesn't Byte, by God, we are all accepting money to test these new Apple products.
Good segue. I don't have newer Macs because these are the ones that it requires.
Right on.
So if you want to use this feature, and this is just basic requirements. So even some feature like universal control, you might need a newer machine. So if you have an iMac that's late 2015 or later, then you can install Mac OS Monterey.
Right.
If you have an iMac Pro that's 2017 and later, you are supported. MacBook Air, minimum requirements early 2015 and later. Same thing with the MacBook Pro, early 2015. Mac Pro, late 2013. It's weird why some machines they only support starting 2015, but then there's one desktop Mac Pro. The minimum requirement is a late 2013.
Well, it sounds like it's probably either a spec thing or maybe they all have like a specific type of hardware that just makes it work. That's
also one of the most expensive machines, so I think it'll piss a lot of people off if they don't support it. So.
I got to spend another $3,000 for what? I can see the
Mac Mini
arguing that.
Now this was really confusing. The Mac Mini late 2014, which doesn't make any sense.
Wow.
Like the Mac Mini out of this whole entire category of list that they support is the cheapest Mac.
Now the Mini are like those little square box things, right? Yeah, okay. I'm the one I killed when you and I were working together at that web hosting company. I think I brought you. Can you save it? Yeah, or somebody over there. But
the Mac Mini.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they would support a late 2014, which is the least powerful one.
Well, it seems to let credence that maybe there's some hardware component that allows for it, and that's why it works. It's pure speculation on my part. I don't
know. I just started just picking and choosing.
Yeah, we'll pick this one. Let me get my dartboard.
And then the MacBook, which they don't sell anymore. So early 2016 and later.
Wow.
So basically, you need some sort of a machine that's 2015 or later.
Sounds like it.
Just to get it installed. We're not talking about like universal control. I think you need a 2016 or later.
Okay.
From what I read. But they dropped a lot of support for it's weird. Like on the iPhone side, they're good at supporting older devices, but on the Mac side, they just suck at it. I don't know why. On the Mac side, they just suck at it. So if you have a 2014, 2013, you're out of luck. Well,
probably should upgrade anyways, but yeah.
2014, if you are on a 2013, 2014 and a machine that's not a Mac Pro or a Mac Mini, then you're out of luck. So
okay. Well, I don't have any of that, so you know what? Apparently I'm out of luck. Oh well.
Yeah, I mean, you won't be able to install macOS Monterey officially. So
right.
Yeah, so I mean, that's always the one thing that always bugged me about their Mac support. Like their software, because I know for a fact, like a 2013, 2014 should be able to has the capability of running it. There is no way.
Yeah,
they're all Intel Macs.
Right.
Up to the 2020 models. So it's like, we know what you're doing, Apple. You want us to buy newer Macs.
Well, right. Well, in theory, it'll be faster and better and all that happy stuff. But yeah, but it just sounds like there's a specific hardware component that is allowing for it. But again, I mean, it just
I feel like they have like a dartboard and just like, okay, let's see which Mac.
That's what I figured.
Got it.
That's what I figured. Just have a few beers. You can't aim straight. Hey, look at that! What I landed on there. Yeah, I did.
Oh, sure. Sorry, 2014 users.
Exactly. All right, let's play the Wheel of Years. 2014.
Yeah. There's really no. I mean, I don't know. It's just. I mean, I don't buy it that a 2013 or a 2014 Mac computer can't run Mac OS Monterey, even though it could run on Big Sur, which is right now.
Yeah,
so it doesn't make any sense.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the crazy part of the whole thing, I know that. I'm gonna kind of go on a limb about this just to make sure I'm right about it. That if you try to upgrade Monterey to an older machine like that can't handle it, it actually won't let you do it.
Yeah, it won't let you install.
Right. Which I always thought was kind of weird because I remember like trying to upgrade like Chrome or something like that, and because the machine was so old, it wouldn't let me do it. I'm like, oh, this blows. So I had to get a new machine in order to upgrade. You have
a new operating system or something. Like that.
Yeah, it was really nuts.
But that is Mac OS Monterey. And they also announced stuff for Watch OS. You have an Apple Watch.
Right.
I have an Apple Watch. I haven't really looked into that, but that was WWDC. Just a quick note of it. So things that I found impressive.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely eager to hopefully test out or at least look at or somehow fiddle around with the universal control.
I want to test out that universal control, but I need a newer Mac.
Well, you know what? We're just going to have to ask our listeners for money. That's what we'll need to do. Please donate to whatever PayPal account we haven't created yet for Tech That Doesn't Byte.
No, what we don't want that yet. We don't feel like
that's not entirely true.
We want to build trust.
No.
We want to build trust. Make sure that if we do open up some sort of Patreon page or something that we want to be able to know that you can trust us with reviews. So we're still building that trust.
You can still trust us, really, totally.
Let's move on to our next topic.
All right.
Our thumbnail says security, so let's talk about
talk about security. Good God. Security. Oh, man. All right. So this being essentially our security episode and whatnot, since after this we're going to talk about the AirTag, so at least touch on it for a short
touch on it for a little bit.
Right. So Amazon Sidewalk has come out today. It was launched for Amazon Echo speakers, newer generation Ring products, tile trackers, and some other devices as well.
I checked the devices, the Amazon stuff that I have. It's not for Amazon Fire tablets.
Okay.
Or any Amazon Fire TV.
Right.
I didn't see those on the list.
Most of it was basically just mostly Amazon Echo products,
Ring devices,
some other Ring, and a couple of Ring devices, specific Ring devices. Okay, so the technology in and of itself uses the wireless low energy Bluetooth protocol and the 900 megahertz radio signal, which allows data to pass between compatible devices, potentially up to a half a mile. The 900 megahertz radio signal is the same frequency band that's used by amateur UHF radio broadcasts, as well as digital television, which is why the range can be extended so far.
Yeah. So briefly describe what is Amazon Sidewalk, what it's supposed to do.
Well, okay. So, I was going to get to that. So, okay. So the process of this, as I read, is that it creates what are called sidewalk bridges. from your home to other people's Sidewalk-enabled devices. And what it does, it uses a small sliver of your house's Wi-Fi bandwidth, which creates a sort of a network within a network, which is then what allows the range to extend to a half mile, because you can sort of bridge from, say, like from my house to Joe Blow across the street if he's got something. And then if there's a house on the other side, you can hook up to that and then just keep going. That's basically what the process is for that. So it's sort of leapfrogging in a manner of speaking, but it creates all these bridges that can go across and arguably basically up to like a half a mile. So it was really kind of gnarly to read about this.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of the bandwidth, the maximum amount of bandwidth used for each Sidewalk bridge transmission is 80 kilobits per second, or about 10 kilobytes per second, which caps overall at 500 megabytes. So mind you, though, these packets that they're talking about, in terms of all these devices talking to each other, are really small. And they're mainly just they're mainly just commands like to turn your lights on and off, do authentication requests, and that sort of thing. But this networkception does not allow people to see or access your Sidewalk devices. So basically, Amazon, while they were originally envisioning the smart home, they're now looking at the smart neighborhood is what they're trying to do here. So basically, they're trying to integrate all these houses that'll have all these Ring devices, all these Alexa devices, as well as the Echoes and all that good stuff. They're trying to basically integrate all these houses together, which ought to be which ought to be interesting to see how they're going to pull this off.
Oh, it's creepy.
Yeah, there is. Well, it's interesting that you react that way. And I'll touch on that in a little bit there. Okay, so the new tech, the wild part about this new tech, doesn't even require any new hardware for you to do it. It's just a software upgrade. However, the device itself does have to be a fairly new generation of devices, roughly within the past few years, about 2015, 2016, some a little later than that, like up to 2017. In short, if you have a semi-new Amazon Echo, a Ring floodlight cam, or a Ring spotlight cam wired, which I have two of those myself, you already have the technology in place to pull this off. Okay.
Yeah. Unless you opt out.
Yes, that's exactly right. You can opt out of that. And I'll get to that as well. I got a lot that I read about this. I was trying to make sure I understood what I was going to talk about, because it was really, really crazy here. Okay. So now the big caveat to note about this is that per Amazon, the use of your slower bandwidth does not allow outsiders access to your Wi-Fi network. Okay. This is because the outside of your home devices, these outside devices themselves, are not joining your Wi-Fi network. And thus, you won't see them listed as additional devices on your network either. And of course, the converse is true. So the way I kind of envision it is basically literally like a hidden network or a ghost network that's kind of running between the houses, in a manner of speaking, if you want to think of it that way. I mean, yeah, you see like all these invisible lines connecting from here to Joe Blow, from here to you, or all the other neighbors around it, and then it just kind of maps itself out in a big web of interconnectivity. All right.
Right.
And basically the impression I got was that there's obviously no network involved. It's just the cloud servers that are running this all together, and they're running all these little commands that go back and forth all over the place. But what was I going to say? Just drew a blank. But but that's basically what it all is. It's just it's its own network, with the cloud kind of being the hub of the whole thing. And like an Amazon cloud server is a hub of this whole thing. Now, as you're mentioning about how creepy this is, obviously this sounds like a potential privacy and security issue, right? Since obviously the smart home tech will usually require that the user share device and user data with the servers of a private company, aka Amazon here. The services are expanding here, that for sure. I mean, obviously you've got your own network of information within your house for your Ring devices or your Alexa, and that's obviously going up to Amazon to answer questions, make queries, and all that other fun stuff to make it a smart home. And of course, if you wire it to your light fixtures or something like that, you've got all that data going out. So with services expanding for this, obviously whatever you are with these extra services, you're also sharing more with Amazon. right? It would stand to reason that. Now, Amazon did write up a very detailed white paper about how it ensures that Sidewalk transmissions will stay private and secure. Now, I did not read this. I know that if I were an engineer, I'm sure I would find it fascinating, and I probably would find all sorts of holes and go, oh my God, this is win the Nobel Prize. I am neither, and so I didn't read it. But I would imagine that they really probably, I hope, thought this through well enough that there wouldn't be any security holes, if you will, in regards to that.
Yeah. I mean, I agree, but still a little bit creepy. So I'd rather just opt out, and you could do that by using the Alexa app.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You could totally read that. Yeah. You could totally opt out of it. Yeah. And basically, but the thing to remember about this, Amazon Sidewalk, for those of you who look this up in your Alexa or your Ring app, it is enabled by default.
Yeah.
So you are being, forced to opt in about this. You don't want any part of this. You know what? Go into your settings on in there. You may have to poke around a little bit. I don't have specifics. Go into settings, find it, disable it. So
it's open the Alexa app.
Right.
Go to more, and then settings, account settings, and then Amazon Sidewalk.
Right. Exactly.
And toggle disable.
Right. Now, now I'll defend Amazon a little bit on this. They basically compared themselves, in terms of, at least from a security standpoint, they compared themselves to the post office, which the post office being the Amazon Sidewalk network server that's in the cloud, their cloud server, where the postal workers only read the envelope information, but not the contents of the envelope itself. So basically, this packet of data, it's being handled by Sidewalk. They're fiddling with it. Oh, where does it got to go? But the data itself isn't being seen by Sidewalk. So they're just handling it, but they're not looking at it. They're just sending it off to where it's got to go. And along with that, any routing data that the packet uses is deleted in 24 hours. And Amazon wrote, basically as a comment to this, quote unquote, as a crowdsourced community benefit, Amazon Sidewalk is only as powerful as the trust of our customers. Amazon Sidewalk is only as powerful as the trust our customers place in us to safeguard customer data. All right. So, and we can make all we can make all sorts of commentary about how well they treat their employees and how they try to bust unions and all. We could go on and on about that. So, customer data. Yeah. The one thing that kind of struck me about this, just as a personal thought. Now, you're more of an IT guy than I am about this, but I fiddled with my own network here and whatnot to know that log files are created, error logs, tracking logs, whatever it is, log files are created. At some point, I can warrant seeing that something criminal might happen with something. So let's say, as an example, this may not be a very good example. Some guy gets mugged. His wallet is taken, and and it happens to have like a tile in it so that it actually can track the wallet, right?
Right.
So the guy holds onto the wallet. He gets back to his apartment. He pulls out, whatever money's in it, whatnot, tosses the wallet aside, leaves it in his apartment. Nobody cares about it at this point. Now, the only way to track the wallet would be to do it within 24 hours, or at least that's what they're suggesting. I would almost put money down that somewhere the deleted data is probably getting copied somewhere else, so that if the cops or the feds or whomever needs this data, somewhere there's a server that contains it. They can look up the historical data. Go, oh yeah, we're looking for this particular tile. This is where it's now currently located, or this is where it was located within the last 24 hours or something like that. Now, it's a paranoid delusion on my part. I admit that. I'm just thinking.
No, it's okay to be paranoid about it.
Yeah.
Just
because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you.
No, I mean, if a company says that, oh yeah, we delete logs all the time, like, okay. Like,
yeah, sure you do.
How much do we trust you? And like, you could say it, but is it true?
Right. Well, there's like that whole TikTok thing that that happened a while back about former President Trump was supposed to have made some kind of deal that these Chinese servers that ran TikTok would delete whatever data they were collecting on us and whatnot, and they would for sure delete it. I'm thinking, yeah, right, they will. So it's just there is a trust issue somewhere, And it really depends on how you feel about Amazon. That's really the long and short of it. If you think Amazon is God's gift to capitalism and all this other good stuff, and they serve you well and all that, you know what? You probably would trust them and you'll go along with it. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I, on the other hand, tend to be considerably more skeptical about large corporations that, delve that deeply into your privacy, that they obviously don't treat their workers all that well, as there have been time and again, lawsuits have gone, all this other stuff. It suggests to me that maybe, do you really want to trust them?
It's skeptical to me because you're automatically opt in. I don't like things that automatically opt in.
Right. That's a big one.
That's a big one. It's like,
that's a big one. Yeah. I mean, who are they to decide for me?
It's like,
right.
Why do you think I want this? I don't want it.
Right.
So don't opt in and don't opt in me
right.
automatically.
No, that's exactly it. I mean, I'll note for this. And since you like, oh my God, this is creepy and all this other stuff. I mean, you were spot on. My wife the other day had contacted me about this. I mean, I guess the Ring app. So she's sort of she has like the main Ring app that actually controls the devices in our house. I have the Ring app as well, but she's like the administrator for it. And I guess it updated. She's the ringleader. There you go. She's the ringleader. She's running the circus. She is running the circus at our house. And as the ringleader, but okay. I know, right? Yeah, okay. Oh no. She's got both roles. So she obviously got an update to her phone that basically said, hey, welcome to Amazon Sidewalk and yada, yada, yada. Here's what it does and all this and this. So she skimmed all this data or all this information, and she obviously got the overwhelming urge, like you did, to disable it and did so. She just flat out told me, Jeff, I'm just letting you know I disabled Sidewalk. You ought to look into this because I have no idea what it is. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's why you and I are talking about this on this show, because I'm like, yeah, you know what? Security is important. Let's talk about that. So there we are.
So, I mean, I don't like that. They just automatically, oh, you're opting. Yeah. Like, no.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Right. I mean, if they had said, okay, this is what it does, but maybe give a much clearer description of what all this stuff does. Obviously they have to put it more in layman's terms because not everybody's, as tech as we are, they might actually understand it a little better.
Yeah.
But
probably a video about it.
Maybe there is. Maybe there is. Video. Yeah, maybe, but still, it's like, you know what? If I want to opt in, I will, but I don't need you to do it for me. But at least hopefully enough people will have the wherewithal, I hope, that they would, go, yeah, you know what? I should look into this. As opposed to just blindly accepting, oh, Amazon is wonderful. I'll do whatever they want me to do and then just leave it on, and it's like.
So, I mean, that's for every company, not just Amazon.
Yeah. Oh, no, all companies should abide by that. I agree. But Amazon, obviously being the big mega corporation that it is, obviously is a consideration, a bigger consideration because they're very much involved in our lives here. So that's a big one there.
Yeah. So that's one thing to be aware of. So if you don't want to be opt in and Amazon Sidewalk, quickly go in the Alexa app and then there'll be a way for you to opt out.
Right. Same with the Ring app as well. So it goes both ways in there as far as I figure, but either way.
Yeah. So that's a little security. And, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Amazon Sidewalk. I mean, like, does anything good ever come out from a sidewalk?
Well, you got dogs, doing their business along there. You got weird stuff in the gutter.
Have you seen the movie It? Pennywise.
Right. And there's that. Ain't good. Oh my God. I didn't even think of that. Holy cow, Simon. My God.
So I was like, no, that's not a good name.
Well, I mean, argue you could say it's the gutter, but he's still a sidewalk gutter.
Sidewalk related.
They're not that far apart.
Yeah. No, I mean, like they gotta call it Amazon Sidewalk. They can't call it Amazon gutter.
Yeah, right. So because you find like hobos in there or something. You don't want to do that.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Opt out.
All right.
If you want.
Yeah. It sounds like, I mean, obviously it's a personal choice, but I would probably recommend opting out until you learn more about it. And, I like I said, I read a lot about this, make sure I kind of understood what was going on. It sounds really secure. I will give it that. I've not read the white paper on it. I'm not going to read it either, but it sounds pretty secure. And if it actually does what it's supposed to do, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's not a bad way to go. Excuse me, but still, I don't need you choosing for me about what to do about it. So there is that. And I'm willing to wait a few months, 6 months down the road to see if there are any privacy or security issues that pop up. Because if it's one thing I've learned about crowdsourcing as a whole, especially with games, gamers will find all sorts of bugs in a given game. They'll tell you about it, and they'll take screen captures and all that stuff, and that's actually helps the developers improve it. Same idea with this. They're gonna obviously they've rolled it out to everybody today who has not opted out, so a lot of feedback is going to be provided, and there's somebody be like, yeah, I totally want to do this so I can provide data back to Amazon. Okay, let's see what we got. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen in 3 to 6 months down the line. I want to see where that goes.
Same here. So we'll keep an eye out.
For sure.
So next thing we're going to talk about is AirTags.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. So Apple is rolling out a new AirTag software update.
Yep.
And the reason why, it's because there's a certain change that it's basically apply that is in this firmware.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, this firmware addresses the issue where, the Apple is adjusting the period of time it takes for AirTags to play a sound alert after being separated from the owner. So if the AirTag is, misplaced by the owner and separated, this firmware update will now play a sound after it's been separated from its owner at a random time within an interval of 8 hours and 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
Because at launch, if you're running the old firmware, AirTag will play a sound if it's separated from the owner, for longer than 3 days.
Yeah. I remember. I thought they had dropped it to only 12 hours instead of a random number. So I thought that's kind of curious.
The interval of 8 hours and 24 hours, apparently.
Okay.
With the new firmware. And they also confirmed that it's working on an Android app that will detect AirTags and other Find My able accessories. So if you have an Android phone and you install their AirTag detection app, then you could theoretically, if you find an AirTag somewhere in your vicinity, you could scan it and possibly contact the original owner to say, hey, you found your AirTags.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
But so here's my experience so far with getting the firmware. I still have not got the firmware yet. Because it's not like where you could go into the Find My app and press, hit update. It's like over the air. So it's at random times. And it's been 5 days already. I still have not received it. So I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, there are that many.
And I'm reading comments like not everyone has received it yet. So, So I don't know.
Maybe you already have the update and you don't need it, which sounds dumb.
I checked the firmware version.
You checked it. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, unless there's so many AirTags out there that it requires that a metered rollout occur, which is the only thing I could think of. I mean, I don't know how
honestly,
big.
If that's how they're going to update the future firmwares, they need to change that because that's stupid.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's dumb. Just do it like how they do it in every single iOS update. Every single thing they have on their device. You go to software and update like that.
Well, there's that
in the MiFi app.
Yeah. So you can't just manually update it on your own. You have to.
I gotta wait.
Oh, lame.
Yeah.
Oh, that is lame. Yeah. Okay.
It is lame. All right. It's like, come on. It's like, it's like. So we're talking about this because we've been testing out the AirTags and we're doing a video review on it.
Right.
And we're still working on it because there's some things that we're still trying to figure out if it works.
Yeah, there were some logistics involved. We'll definitely get a review out soon, but
it's gonna
be
patient with us.
It's gonna be a little later. Yeah, just be patient. Right?
There's things that we're kind of confused about. That like, is this supposed to how it works?
Right,
we're doing it wrong, so we don't know. Right. So we're okay. But our overall impression is that the precision tracking works if you have an iPhone 12. Okay?
Right.
But, we noticed that there's obviously a range.
Yes.
So we did like some other testing that I say maybe a little bit out of the normal range, but we don't know if we're doing it right or not. So we'll see. So my impression is that it works, but it's really a device to track lost items.
Right.
Like your keys, wallet, and things like that.
Right.
And it's not really for other things.
Right.
Thinking about doing that certain thing that we're trying to do. which
Right.
the reason why we're being so cryptic is because we don't want to spoil the video. So
we don't want to spoil the video. Yeah, there's a lot that we're
doing this thing, the thing, and then that thing.
We do this other thing, the thing, things. Yeah.
So what do you think, Jeff?
Well, I think the thing is definitely thingy and full of the things. Oh my god. Well, no, I like the AirTags. The concept is really good, and I think when we were working with it, we definitely learned a lot about what it seems to do and not do.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot we could test with it because as I understand it, and Simon, correct me if I'm wrong. If I understood this,
you're
right.
wrong. What is it?
I probably what are you, my wife? No, it's
no.
No. You and your mustache, not a chance. Since tracking the AirTag is kind of a quasi crowdsourced type of function, right? Then it sounds like at some point we may need to test it like in a really busy place, like a mall or something like that. So that might be one thought we could try.
Yeah, that's one thought. And also given that the AirTags are in a sense similar to what Sidewalk is.
Right.
But see, I don't know the details about it. I mean, all I know is that it's basically it's kind of a network. It's a Bluetooth network that's reliant on other iPhones.
Right.
Bluetooth, with their Bluetooth as well. So it's like
we did notice that it didn't seem to find the AirTag with the phone. It didn't come up as like a Bluetooth network setting option. Like you couldn't find it.
Yeah.
No, and that's an important thing too. I mean, at least from a security standpoint, if you want to think of it that way. But by the same token, it's like, okay, well, how is it connecting to other people so that we can find it? You know, so there's a lot of little questions here and there about
probably some sort of invisible relay going on.
Right. Well, I mean, similar to the Sidewalk technology I was talking about. So yeah, this may be our big leap forward where now we're all going to be much more interconnected than maybe we really want to be. But
So I think maybe in our area, not everyone's updated to the latest OS.
Right.
Maybe that's why. So kind of depends. I mean, maybe, that's the thing only came out in May.
Right.
And it came out in May? Yeah, somewhere around May.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
If not May, it was April, but I'm pretty sure it was May. Yeah.
So it's not too long. So some people, not everyone automatically jump and update the latest iOS. So
Right.
So maybe in our area, the area that we tested just didn't have that enough people on their iPhones with newer OS. So
that actually would make a lot of sense. That would make a lot of sense, which again would warrant certainly a trip to a very busy place where there'd be a lot of people or a good number of people.
So
that might be one thing.
I've set it in lost mode.
Yeah.
Right. So
we
weren't seeing that. So we're definitely gonna do more testing on it. We definitely got to go somewhere that's more
people heavy,
populated.
Yes, heavily populated, people heavy. Yeah, exactly.
So maybe a mall,
for sure,
plaza somewhere.
Yeah, no, I think. Well, no, I mean that's an important contrast too. Is that okay? If you lose it in your house, is it any easier to find than like if you lose it outside versus losing it in a mall?
Yeah,
so those are important things. Now we were outside, and it was mildly problematic to track it sometimes. I mean, the location finder worked, so I mean that for sure. So that wasn't that big of an issue. There was definitely a range to it, and it could be muffled or shielded in a manner of speaking, or dampened. Maybe the signal was dampened. Yeah, we had dampener fields, right?
It does rely on Bluetooth, so
it relies on Bluetooth, which is not a bad tech. I like it a lot, but it does have a pretty short range, so it's not ideal, I guess, in that regard. I mean, unless you're within which the range we figured was about 50 feet or so. That's about what we worked with.
Yeah, before we lost the signal.
Right before we lost the signal, so that actually might be the magic numbers around 50 feet or so for Bluetooth. That's not a bad thing necessarily, but I mean, unless you live in a mansion, then you're kind of screwed. But that's beside the point. But
lost. Well, yeah, you could get lost in your own mansion.
Oh yeah, no, I'd imagine it could happen. So yeah, it sounds like we probably need to do a bit more testing, a little more field work, if you will, and we'll go from there for sure. So we'll definitely keep you posted. So maybe if the video doesn't come out this week, it's next week, somewhere in that range. I'm not going to make any promises. Don't hold me to it. It's going to be it's kind of a big deal. This is a lot a lot here.
Yeah, we got to focus on it a little bit more. So keep an eye out. But
far,
I
like it. Not a bad thing. I like it. we'd love to hear, any feedback from our listeners here to see what they think of it if they have one, and if it's worked for them. If they've actually lost their keys or lost their marbles and they were able to find them again. So that's a big one.
All right, so that does it. That's all the story that we wanted to cover for this week. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching or listening. If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button if you like this video. Subscribe to our channel. Check out some of our other videos that we have been making for, I don't know, for quite some time now. So
far too long. We don't want to count it, but yeah, a long time though.
Long time. No, we got a lot of videos. You guys can check out some reviews, some product reviews. And if you are listening to us on the podcast, thank you. We really appreciate it. If you feel free to leave a review on the podcasting platform that you're using.
Right.
And if we're not in a certain podcast platform that you use, let us know.
Yep, we'll take care of it. Absolutely.
Take care of it.
Be sure to also visit us on our website, TechThatDoesn'tByte.com. You can pretty much see all the reviews and the Bytecasts we've done, and all sorts of other fun videos. You can learn about who we are, what we're all about, and just how amazing we are. And then you can like and subscribe to us personally. Okay, maybe not, but we're just cool. Maybe if you really want to, it's up to you. Don't want to exceed that, the having too many friends thing. Anyways, by all means, please do visit our website, visit our YouTube channel, and leave comments for us, feedback, and all that good stuff. We'd love to hear from you.
Yep. Until next time, we'll see you next week.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye,
Take
everyone.
care. Bye.